All right, we have to get into what head coach of the Toronto Tempo, Sandy Brondello, had to say about Caitlin Clark. And all she did was utter the truth. So we have to get into that because it is making a lot of noise. And the Caitlin Clark one looks like it has kind of been revealed in this rollout. We saw a couple different colorways. There was also a promo video cut up for. We got to get into all of it, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get right into things. Sandy, you're up. Sandy, you know we love you, Sandy.
When the head coach of a rival expansion team is forced to sit in front of the international media and deliver more glowing, unfiltered praise for Caitlin Clark in a single 2-minute press conference than her own head coach has mustered all season long, you know there is a massive, undeniable problem in Indianapolis. We are witnessing a terrifying level of cognitive dissonance where the entire basketball world, major global brands, and cultural icons are actively bowing down to the greatest playmaker on the planet, while the Indiana Fever front office continues to treat her like an inconvenience. But while the petty coaching politics rage on behind the scenes, Clark is officially securing her legacy in the most permanent way possible. The highly anticipated Nike signature shoe has officially dropped. The promotional rollout is breaking the internet, and the cultural cosigns are absolutely massive. You are locked into WNBA Verdict, the only platform brave enough to cut through the corporate spin and deliver the raw, unfiltered truth about the hardwood. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and let's expose exactly how the rest of the world is treating the superstar that Indiana refuses to protect. To truly comprehend the sheer magnitude of the respect Caitlin Clark commands outside of her own locker room, you have to look at the immediate aftermath of the Indiana Fever's blowout 113-91 victory over the Toronto Tempo. Following an absolute masterclass where Clark completely carved up the defense for 21 points and a staggering 14 assists, Toronto head coach Sandy Brondello stepped up to the podium and delivered pure, unfiltered truth. Brondello did not hedge her words, she did not deflect to her own team's defensive lapses, and she certainly didn't try to minimize the impact of the opposing point guard. She openly admitted that Clark is an incredibly hard guard because she attacks in transition with terrifying speed and lethal high-drag screens. Brondello confessed that even when they attempted to crowd her, shrink the floor, and throw multiple elite defenders at her, Clark was simply too crafty. She acknowledged the undeniable reality that Clark wasn't just hunting for her own shot. She was completely manipulating the geometry of the court to create wide-open looks for her teammates, orchestrating a 14-assist massacre that the Tempo simply had no answer for. The stark, jarring contrast between Sandy Brondello's press conference and the agonizing post-game scrums we are forced to endure from Stephanie White is honestly sickening. Brondello, a highly respected, championship-caliber coach, effortlessly recognized the greatness unfolding in front of her. She praised Clark's vision, her pace, and her elite decision-making. Meanwhile, back in Indianapolis, we are forced to watch the Fever coaching staff actively invent new ways to avoid saying Clark's name, deflecting questions about her historic performances to talk about random bench players and generic team unity. It is a completely toxic, broken dynamic. Honestly, the Fever fanbase is collectively praying that Clark and Brondello are secretly exchanging messages.
Yeah, look, I know y'all might get in trouble for tampering. Listen, I don't know. You and Caitlin Clark, go exchange Snapchats. Hit me on Snap. Go exchange Snapchats so that y'all can figure out the next move, because I don't know how long things are going to be lasting and peachy and rosy over here in Indiana. And Caitlin Clark and Sandy Brondello might have to put a little plan together for this offseason. Let's take a look at what she had to say.
Coach, just quickly, it looked like the defensive strategy was working on Caitlin Clark a little bit there in the beginning, but she was affecting you in the other areas like assist and stuff like that.
Is behind the scenes, plotting a massive off-season escape plan. Because if the Indiana front office refuses to shield their franchise player from the ongoing, vicious smear campaigns, she absolutely deserves to play for a coach who actually respects her generational talent. But while the internal politics of the Indiana Fever continue to look like an absolute circus, Caitlin Clark is busy solidifying her status as a global billionaire brand. After months of intense speculation, subtle Instagram handle changes, and mysterious profile picture updates, the wait is officially over. The Nike Caitlin 1 has been officially revealed to the world, and it is an absolute masterpiece. The debut signature silhouette, dropping in an electric racer blue colorway, seamlessly merges high-level athletic performance engineering with deeply personalized design elements. Nike pulled out all the stops, utilizing an advanced Opticast molded upper that features a wavy, dynamic layout integrating repeating CC and 22 structural details. They packed the midsole with plush Cushlan foam and a specialized 4-foot zoom turbo unit designed specifically for the explosive, fast-paced transition game that Clark runs to perfection. Having your own signature shoe is the ultimate ascension into basketball immortality, and Clark just kicked the door completely off the hinges. If you thought a standard sneaker release was enough to break the internet, you clearly do not understand the cultural gravitational pull of Caitlin Clark. This wasn't just a standard Nike press release. This was a massive, cross-cultural event. During the official social media rollout, the entire sneakerhead community lost its collective mind when global music icon Travis Scott made a highly publicized appearance holding the shoes. Scott, who has a legendary history of attending Clark's record-breaking collegiate games, was seen debuting a stealthy, jet black and metallic silver iteration of the highly anticipated model. When the biggest artist in the world, a man whose own sneaker collaborations literally dictate the global streetwear market, personally co-signs your debut signature shoe, you have officially transcended the sport of basketball. The intersection of elite women's athletics and dominant streetwear culture has never looked this powerful, and Travis Scott's involvement proves that Clark's brand is absolutely bulletproof against the petty local narratives trying to tear her down. And the massive wave of industry respect did not stop with the hip-hop community. Nike released an incredibly high-production promotional cut-up video to accompany the sneaker launch, and the featured guests completely shattered the mainstream media's narrative that the veteran players despise Clark. The video featured an absolute barrage of praise from established, elite WNBA talent. We saw Kelsey Plum appearing on camera to publicly show massive love and respect for the rookie's game. But the absolute wildest, most unexpected appearance in the entire promotional package came from DeWanna Bonner. Yes, the same DeWanna Bonner who was involved in some incredibly tense, highly publicized on-court shenanigans with Clark earlier in her.
What do you think you needed to do to be able to contain her?
Yeah, she's a hard guard because she's coming with so much speed in the transition with the high drags. I mean, we were just trying to crowd her as much as we can and then shrink off certain other players. But yeah, she's just crafty. I think, when Slim wasn't there and Julie wasn't there, they were our two main players that were guarding her to a high level. And Maria, she played hard, but she's Caitlin is just really too crafty. So, Caitlin's a great player, and she certainly, she created, 14 assists. She's creating for her teammates as well, too, when we started probably ball watching a little bit more.
Career. To see her actively participating in a Nike commercial, openly declaring that Caitlin Clark changed the game with basketball, is the ultimate proof that real recognize real. When the dust settles and the competitive adrenaline fades, the true veterans of this league understand exactly what Clark has done for the financial and cultural elevation of the WNBA. The messaging within that Nike promotional video was a chilling, accurate summary of what it actually feels like to defend number 22. The narration described Clark as the ultimate cheat code, an electrifying competitor who is essentially a massive boulder rolling downhill the absolute second she gets out in transition. The video highlighted the terrifying reality that opposing defenses are forced to guard her for all 94 feet of the hardwood, knowing that she can effortlessly pull up and shoot the lights out from the parking lot at any given moment. It was a beautiful, dramatic tribute to a player who was always dreaming of being in the really big moments, and has now positioned herself to be as successful as any athlete in the history of the sport. She is the engine, the facilitator, and the absolute face of the new era of basketball. Of course, because it is the internet, the official reveal of the Caitlin 1 immediately sparked a massive debate across the sneaker community. Hardcore collectors are currently flooding the comment sections, intensely analyzing the silhouette. Some fans are absolutely loving the sleek, low-top aesthetic, noting the heavy design inspiration drawn from the legendary Nike Kobe 6, which makes perfect sense considering Clark's lifelong devotion to the Kobe line. Other critics are claiming the shoe plays it a bit too safe, comparing the wavy Opticast upper to recent releases like the Ja 1, and demanding more vibrant, aggressive colorways before the official October retail drop. But regardless of whether you think the shoe is an instant classic or needs a design tweak, the undeniable reality is that everyone is talking about it. The engagement metrics are through the roof, the hype is entirely genuine, and the pre-orders are going to completely sell out the absolute second they hit the Nike servers. The ultimate takeaway from this massive, whirlwind week of WNBA action and global brand drops is incredibly simple. You can clearly see the desperate, flailing attempts by certain local media proxies and insecure coaching staffs to minimize Caitlin Clark's impact. You can watch the Indiana Fever front office continue to play petty, avoidant games during post-game press conferences. But their localized, toxic narratives are being completely drowned out by the deafening roar of global appreciation. When rival head coaches like Sandy Brondello are sitting at the podium calling you a brilliant, unstoppable playmaker, when Travis Scott is flexing your unreleased sneakers to millions of followers, and when Nike is backing up the Brinks truck to build an entire corporate campaign around your legacy, the localized smear campaigns become entirely irrelevant. Caitlin Clark has officially won the war, and the rest of the world is just waiting for the Indiana Fever to finally wake up and realize what they actually have.